We're doing the sealant stack and the 1-2 punch.
There you go.
This is about as fun as you can have doing a maintenance wash at home.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today we have this beautiful BMW here. We're going to be doing what we like to affectionately call the sealant stack. Yes, we'll be washing, we'll be decontaminating, adding quick beads and envy to make this paint glow even more.
If you enjoy washing your vehicle, and more importantly, if you love your vehicle, this is probably the video for you. We're gonna get the foam cannon out, Ivan. Let's imagine we're in the driveway at home.
Right.
It could be sun, it could be not. Let's talk about if it's natural elements versus a garage. How do we approach this?
No difference. Same thing. Basically, we're gonna show you, we're gonna work as if we're outside. It's that simple. So, first thing we need to do though, we know this is a BMW. We know BMWs have a thing for brake dust.
Tell me about that.
We're gonna add a little iron remover to the wheels here, just to help break down that lovely BMW brake dust.
Why is it the German brakes tend to have a lot of brake dust?
I'm not German, I couldn't tell you. Ask a German. If you want to put the all clean on there, Nick.
Next up, DIY Detail All Clean, diluted 15-1. Just a smidge of Incredible Suds in there. You could spray it out of a sprayer, Ivan. We have a ready-to-use sprayer. It's a 16-ounce bottle, but it's more fun out of a IK Foam Pro 12. What's the philosophy behind this method, Ivan?
The reason we're foaming simply is every time a bubble bursts, you're putting new all clean on the surface. Now, what we've done is put the iron remover on first because we know German brakes have a tendency to leave a little more brake dust. That's why we put the iron remover on there first. What this is doing, the all clean is allowing the iron remover to work a little longer. It's keeping it from evaporating. That's what we've done here. So again, if you're working outside, you want to mitigate evaporation. Next, we're gonna foam the vehicle down. Let me get my foam cannon ready.
I don't know if we'd have enough all clean to get really into the barrels, Ivan.
Yeah.
But now that I've hit all the wheel faces, I'm kind of getting into the barrels. Your thoughts on that? Is that overkill?
Yeah, that's good.
We know that nobody ever sees the barrels, right? We're passionate detailers. We care about all the little nooks and crannies. Is that overthinking it to get in the barrels?
No. Now, someone that's only ever been through a car wash, they don't know the barrels exist on their wheels. But for those of us that are enthusiasts, we like detailing. Of course, we know what barrels are and how to clean them. I'm gonna start foaming the vehicle down here. We're going to let that dwell for a few seconds. What we're doing here, there could be grit on this vehicle. It looked really clean, but there's always a bit of dirt, bit of grit lurking somewhere. That's what we're doing here. We're going to let the Incredible Suds break down that grit, lift it off the surface, carry it gently to the ground. Then when we rinse, we basically have a clean surface and we just have just a bit of traffic film to deal with.
If you're doing this outside, I suggest doing it in the morning or doing it in the evening. If it's a hot Florida sunny day in the summertime, this could dry really quick.
Yes.
I never like to mix hot sun and chemicals if I can avoid it, Ivan. Any other tips for folks out there?
Don't overthink it too much because our chemicals, if they do dry, they're just gonna rinse away cleanly anyways. But don't force it either. Black car, noon, sun time. Actually, we have a video where we did that. You'll find it down below. But at the same time, not something you necessarily want to do. Going to be sure to rinse out the wheels properly, to get the iron remover out of there and any grit that was in there. Nick did a good job with the barrel, so I'm going to do a good job rinsing the barrels as well. Nick, I've got the squeegee this time. I'll let you foam this up.
The foam rinse foam, we don't worry so much about the perfect blanket of Incredible Suds everywhere. We just want this for lubrication. Ivan left me with about half a foam can, and sometimes I prefer a full foam can, so I have to be really judicious with my suds here. I guess I'll start here because that's where I found the pressure washer hose, and I'll work my way back around.
Nick, you're afraid of running out of foam?
I left a little bit for your bucket, Ivan.
There you go.
So tell me what you had in there, because usually I'll just hit that with a pressure washer for the foam volcano.
Yeah.
Did you have Incredible Suds in there to begin with, and then we added more?
Yeah, I just had half an ounce, so a cap full.
So it's a little fun. So whether it's your pressure washer tip or the foam cannon,
Yeah.
just get the volcano. Okay, we foam rinse foamed, Ivan. Why do we do it?
We do it for safety. We do it for fun. And we do it to make sure that we have a nice lubricious bed of suds on there to start washing. But before we start washing, I'm actually gonna do the wheels. Let that foam dwell just a little bit longer. Break down that traffic film. Less work for me, more work for the foam.
More spokes equals more fun. Is that what I've heard you say many times, Ivan?
No. You've never heard me say that and you never will. The wheeling body brush does make relatively quick work of all these spokes. Because of the flexibility, I'm able to get the bristles in between. I don't need to use one of those little lug nut brushes because it gets in there quite easily. The bristles are softer than the clear coat, meaning they're not going to scratch the clear coat. We've done foam rinse foam on the wheels just like we do everywhere else, meaning we've taken the grit away, just leaving traffic film. Do the face first, then the barrels. There's a bit of dirt in there. You can see what comes out of the barrel. Brush comes out clean. The nice thing about our brush that some people call the corncob brush, but anyways, the Tampico fibers, they don't hold on to dirt. So even though I may be moving a bit of grit around in there, it's not sticking to this fiber and being moved around. It's actually being released and flushed off with the soap. And when I put this in my wash bucket, it basically comes out clean. And this is the reason we do the faces first. Look at this dirt that I brought out of the barrel when I was removing the brush. That is now just sitting on the surface. It's not attached to the surface. When we rinse it away, it'll rinse away clean.
Somewhere along the line, this got really dirty. I don't know, some tire shine from a dealership, we don't know. I put all clean straight, right from the gallon into here. If you don't have a LaCroix Cruiser, because everybody wants these and they're not out yet probably, just grab a painter's tray. You may have one of those, they're quite cheap. Something to agitate against, because we have the concentrate at full strength. Now we usually only concentrate at 15:1. So this is the only time we're gonna tell you, hey, use all clean at full strength. But I want my wheel and body brush, I want it clean, so I'm working on removing that staining. We're gonna work on that slowly. Look at all that black coming out. So it's getting better. A little bit of patience goes a long way. Pretty much clean. No more nasty tire shine staining up my brush.
And speaking of no more stained brushes, I'm gonna be using our perfectly safe brush. Look how soft and luxurious these bristles are. Super, super soft. We have nice deep flagging on these bristles. There's a lot of them there. It's solid. It's not gonna do any damage to the vehicle. The bristles, as I said, very soft. If you have a dirty car, you may need to go over it twice with the brush. It's that soft. What's your wash media of choice today, Nick?
Oh, I'm an Incredible mitt man myself, Ivan. The Incredible wash mitt. It's purple, it matches the purple of Incredible Suds. You know, if only we had another perfectly safe brush around here, I'd be using that. The perfectly safe brush is always my go-to, if I'm being 100% transparent. But it's not necessary to have two PSBs in one detail.
No, we have a tendency to sell out, so that's why we don't have any here. We don't want to take from the inventory. So.
One panel per side of my Incredible wash mitt. Thanks for doing the roof there. No pressure whatsoever. Yeah, the Incredible wash mitt's actually more aggressive. I mean, it's safe. I hate to use the word aggressive, but people ask, is the perfectly safe brush safe? Is it gonna scratch my vehicle? And because this has these little microfiber strands, microfiber grabs onto dirt. Microfiber will grab dirt, Ivan. Yeah. And with the perfectly safe brush, it'll clean but then release.
Right. Now, the 8713 blend of our wash mitt does a great job at releasing as well. That's about the only time you don't really want a nice 70-30 microfiber is in a wash mitt. As soon as the brush touches the bucket, it floods the fibers or the strands of the brush, and when it floods them, they release all the dirt that could be on them. The brush is also great. I can get the underside of the rocker panels. It helps me move my bucket along without bending down. For us older folks, it's a good thing. I'm not concerned about touching the paint with the body of the brush because the plastic is much, much softer than the clear coat on your car. And we didn't rubber coat our brush for a reason. If you have a rubber coating on the outside of your brush here, it can pick up a piece of grit and then release it later. Being a solid surface like that, it's not going to pick up grit, meaning that it's not going to release it when you least expect it or least want it to.
What are you using those bristles for, Ivan?
Getting in that little grill there.
I think that's what they call working smarter, not harder.
Something like that. When you're done with your brush, simply rinse it out, get the soap out of it, or rinse and wash, your choice, and hang it up to dry.
Now, if you were just doing a wash at home, it could be this simple. You put the suds on, you agitate the suds in, you rinse, you dry. But we're going a little bit deeper for something that could, happen every couple months or so, and that is a decontamination. Now, it's not like the world's most comprehensive decontamination, but it is one that you may want to do on occasion, Ivan. How often should they do this, Ivan?
I like to do it every 2 or 3 months because there is contamination that accumulates on the vehicle, whether you want to or not. Even if you're washing regularly, that brake dust gets on there, all sorts of things. And this is just an easy way to clean it off and at the same time, leave your paint beautiful. Now, this is a light colored car, so we chose to do the iron remover at the same time because iron remover actually doesn't remove iron. It removes the stains caused by the iron attached to the paint.
And you said this as if you would even explain what we're doing.
Well, we're using iron remover with the quad fold decontamination towel. The 1-2 punch of decontamination.
Oh, the 1-2 punch. We're doing the seal and stack and the 1-2 punch?
There you go.
What a day. What a day for this vehicle. Ivan, some have asked, what is the quad fold decontamination towel? I'm here to answer. There are 4 quadrants or quartiles, depending on how fancy you want to get. And one side of this is a diamond weave. And so that diamond weave is just going to really hold a lot of moisture. That diamond weave is red. We actually put this in our wash bucket so that if you do the wrong thing, which is pressure, you're getting added lubrication. But actually, this is not a clay towel, even though we use it for SEO and call it a clay towel on the internet. See those perforations? Those are gonna grab little bits of above surface contaminants, get them into your towels. We use one side per panel. Spray it, boom. Where you spray your iron remover is where you deposit the towel. And then I go to a new side of my towel for a new panel. Ivan, folks may say, well, you're putting contaminants into that towel and then rubbing them back into the paint. That can't be safe. You're gonna mar the paint up.
Yeah, no. Basically, the towel is dislodging the contaminants. If they're big enough, and we don't see the contaminants, they're that small, we don't see them, we don't feel them. But what they do is they accumulate in the perforations, and as soon as we do this, dunk it in our bucket, when we pick it up, it's flushed out. And we're ready to go back to the surface. Yes, it will leave some little contaminants on the surface, but now they're unbonded, they're loose, they're floating in the suds and iron remover combination, meaning that when we rinse this away, it rinses away clean.
Our iron remover is a lubricant as well.
Yes.
So we have the suds, lubrication, iron remover, lubrication, suds in the towel for extra lubrication. How should I be thinking about the mechanical action of this towel on paint?
The less pressure you exert, the better it's gonna work. The other thing is, it's plucking the contamination off. It's not rubbing it off, it's not abrading it off, there's no abrasives in it. So unlike a clay bar that has abrasives, and by the way, clay bars aren't made of clay, they're synthetic as well. But there's no abrasives here to damage the paint. This is an ultra-fine grade decontamination towel. There's nothing in here to scratch your paint. Technique makes it simple, safe, and easy.
And don't forget to decontaminate glass. It feels like this rear glass is probably the worst offender in terms of what I felt under the towel.
Yep, same
A very
here.
well-maintained vehicle here, but there was some roughness under the towel here on glass, Ivan.
Yep, same on my side. the rear window was actually the most contaminated part of the vehicle. Now, I left the front bumper till last, and the reason for that is very simple. Bug guts. We want the incredible suds to work as long as possible on dislodging and softening up those bug guts. So when we come by with this towel, it's very easy to remove if there were any. We're gonna do the headlights, everything on the front end. Next, we get to rinse off the incredible suds in the iron remover. You see that it's actually dried on the windows here. I'm not concerned about that. If we were doing this in direct sunlight, I wouldn't be concerned that it dried on the vehicle. It's going to rinse away perfectly cleanly. The first step in the sealant stack after you've washed and decontaminated is quick beads. Quick beads is so much fun to apply. Now, we said we're gonna do this as if we're working outside. If you're working outside, there's a couple different ways of doing it. One, spraying it on a panel, and I actually have my spray a little too tight there. Let's get a nice mist. And then immediately rinse it off. Now, if you're immediately rinsing off, I don't want to rinse down. I'm going to rinse from the bottom up. You can see the beading here and no beading there. But if you want to be a little more efficient, a little faster, you do the side of the vehicle in one go. And by doing that, what I'm going to do is just lightly spread some on the vehicle. I don't need to get it everywhere. But now I'm going to spread it using the foam cannon. And by spreading using the foam cannon, you'll see a little line of suds. I'm just going to follow that line of suds across the vehicle. And then I'm going to rinse down, because if you have any excess quick beads, you want to get it off.
Ivan, I think you said spread using the foam cannon. You meant pressure washer.
Oh yes,
yeah,
pressure washer, sorry.
And then the only other thing I wanted to mention was the hood is so flat.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing about quick beads is it restores water beading. So maybe we could just look at the hood.
Yep.
And then we can really appreciate the magic of quick beads in action.
Right. So for the hood, as I said, I always want to be pushing the quick beads up or pushing it across a panel. So I'm going to put some on the hood, let it sit for a moment, let it dwell. You don't want it to dry in the sun, but if you can let it dwell 30 seconds, great. Then I'm going to go across the bumper like I did on the side of the vehicle. And then I'm going to push it up the hood onto the windshield. Following that line of suds as I go, and then rinse it down again. When working outside, that rinsing down is actually one of the most important steps, because if you have any excess quick beads, you're gonna get it down and you're not gonna cause streaking. Those that apply quick beads, and I'll do it on this fender here, I'll fix it after, don't worry. So first of all, they apply way too much. Then they let it dwell. Great. Then they do this. Okay, I'm done. That's not enough rinsing, and that is going to cause streaking. What we want to do, just like I did on the rest of the vehicle, I'll start at the front corner here, some on the wheel, I'll go around this side, more on the wheel, couple sprays on the glass, and then I'm going to start at the front corner and work my way to the back. Followed by rinsing down, always important. Then the roof, just as flat as the hood was. The water's just sitting there, just hanging around, saying, I'm gonna make your drying life so difficult because I'm just hanging around there. Bit on the glass, and then, same thing, watch, look what it's doing here. The water is gathering up, moving off the panel by itself. Haven't had to rinse a thing, but I am going to rinse it. I moved it along the surface, down the windshield. I just have the back end to do, and we can put the pressure washer away. And we're done. Nick, if I can get you to turn off the pressure washer, please, and the water. The reason we're doing that, we want to make the hose easier to roll up. So we do that, we take the pressure out of the hose, becomes a lot more supple, easier to roll up. To make detailing more enjoyable, clean up after yourself as you go. Now it's ready for the next time.
People might think the word quick means there's some lack of quality, but quick beads, you know, when you do it right, Ivan, look at the way the water just ran away. These beads
Yes.
Became alive. It was wild to watch the water behavior after you got it on there and rinsed it off.
Yeah, we went from flat to beads. It's a long-term durable sealant. Now, if after you're done you notice streaking, because that can't happen, A, if you use too much, B, if you didn't rinse it properly, and C, if you tried blow drying it. Towel drying is an important part of the quick beads process. So just getting a blower out, because these beads will blow off beautifully, but they're gonna streak. The quick beads isn't cured yet. It's still on the surface. The towel drying is part of the curing process. We're gonna accelerate that curing process, make the drying even more fun, and add Envy on top, making it even better for us. Now,
this is called having fun.
This is called having fun. If you're working outside, you're gonna do one panel at a time. If you're in a controlled environment or it's later in the evening, earlier in the morning, what you can do is put a bit of Envy everywhere, 1 or 2 sprays per panel. That's all you need.
Wow, look how that just dries. Love it. I'm already here, why not, right? I'm gonna act as if I'm outside. I'm gonna do 1 spray per panel as I go.
Yep.
Whereas in the real world, we have a lot of dwell time and kind of safe to let it dwell for a while without the sun, huh?
But look at that, 1 pass.
Yep.
It's dry, and boy, is it slick.
The reason I like ceramic coatings, they're easy to clean. The reason I like decontaminated paint with quick beads and the sealant stack of Envy, it's easy to dry.
Oh yeah, definitely super easy to dry.
Have you noticed the common theme here? I like it when it's easy, because it's more fun. I'm gonna do it more often. You know, life gets busy and it's like, I don't want my car cleaning regimen to be
difficult?
too complicated or difficult, right?
No.
I want the maximum amount of reward in the least amount of time.
Anything you can do to make detailing a little quicker is gonna make it more fun for you. Some people, they look at their garage or they look at their detailing setup and go, oh, it's gonna take me an hour to set up, I don't have time to wash the car. If you have everything set up, ready to go, that means at a moment's notice, you can say, I'm gonna wash my car. And it's gonna make it easier for you, simpler, and a lot more fun.
Look at the way the car just dries with a drying blanket and the combination of quick beads and Envy.
It dries itself almost.
Speaking of drying itself, do you think detailers will still have a job in the age of AI?
Yes. By the way, if you're asking AI for detailing information, trust me, it's not giving you the truth.
What if it bases all of its answers off of what Ivan LaCroix would say?
It still wouldn't be right. There's no right way to detail, there's no wrong way to detail. But AI can be misleading at sometimes. Its task is to give you an answer. Its task is not to give you the right answer. Ask AI about Nick McGurk. It'll tell you all sorts of things about him that aren't true. Tell you some good fun things too.
Oh boy, I don't...
Have you asked AI about yourself?
No.
Give it a try. Now, Nick loves multi-spokes wheels, so he started drying them immediately. I'm gonna blow dry them just a little bit, just get the majority, especially out of the lug nut holes. That way, when I blow dry after I've dried them, they won't get the rest of the wheel all wet. Not a super powerful blower, but just enough to get the water out of those lug nut holes, because it's annoying. Couple sprays of Envy on the wheel. Again, making drying easier, simpler, safer, and faster, and extra protection.
Even when I'm not doing the sealant stack on the paint, I often do it on the wheels, Ivan. I do quick beads as I'm washing on clean, wet wheels, and then a spray or 2 of Envy as I dry with my drying towel of choice. I don't use the same drying towel that I use on paint for wheels. I'll grab something a little scrappier, something a little less high quality. I should only wipe down wheels that are pristine and clean, but I worry that sometimes my wheel's not gonna be cleaned enough and I'm gonna get my beautiful drying blanket dirty. What's your philosophy on the right towel for wheels?
I like the Freebird 400 myself. It gives me the flexibility. The drying blanket is a great towel, but
Funny that I have the same one, yeah.
The drying blanket is just a little too thick, especially for these thin spokes, whereas this one I can get it in between those super thin spokes and dry beautifully in there too. 'Cause leaving a water droplet on the wheel is not fun. As beautiful as this is, one of the most transformative parts of a detail is applying the tire dressing. Go around making sure not to touch the wheel, and then use the edge. Just put a bit of tire dressing on the edge of the brush, and then you can go in that lip, working your way around the wheel without actually touching the wheel.
To echo what Ivan said, when I first got a new car years ago, I drove it off the lot. It was before I was a detailer. And I thought to myself, this is as good as this car is ever going to look. Little did I know there was such a thing called tire shine, or DIY detail tire dressing. Basically can make any car look new, especially after you wash it. A little exaggerating there, but a shined tire or a dressed tire really amplifies the look of any vehicle. And it's easy to do, folks. It's easy to do.
It's, I think, the cherry on the sundae, Nick. The icing on the cake.
The icing on the cake.
Yeah. This car is stunning. It's silver. It's beautiful. Has another thing going for it, as far as I'm concerned. It has a clutch pedal and a shifter.
Manual transmission cars are sure fun to drive.
Yeah.
They're also fun to wash. Now, one thing we didn't do here that we did do on a manual transmission car,
Yes.
the engine bay. If you want to learn how to clean the engine bay, it's the next step up if you're going along the detailing path. There's a how-to video you might want to watch right here.